Okay, so these are the notes that we're going to be going over to The Great Gatsby. Now, as a reminder, please understand that you need to copy down these notes in your notebook because you will be able to use these on any test or quiz. You will not have access to this video for any assessment. Okay, so themes. In the course of The Great Gatsby, one of the most prominent themes is that of hope, and it is represented through a green light. You're going to see this green light at the start of the book and at the end of the book, and it has two different meanings depending on where we are in the novel. At the start of this book, the green light actually symbolizes hope. The goal of Jay Gatsby, the main character, is his hope to reunify or get back together with a woman, Daisy Buchanan. This is somebody that he had been in love with 5 years prior, and he has worked all of these years to reunify with her. So you'll see how hope is a very prominent theme in the course of the book. Another theme that we're going to be looking at over the course of the novel is that of success. Now, for the title character of Jay Gatsby, he truly believes that success is really determined by how much money you actually have. That actually is a very faulty way of looking at success. Just because you have a lot of money does not necessarily mean you're a success. And we will talk about that as the course of the book goes on. We'll talk about some present day examples of that as well. But success for Gatsby, he really thinks has to do with money. And he thinks with enough money, he can win Daisy back. Another theme that we're going to be looking at is that of ignorance. Now, ignorance is when someone has very little self-knowledge or self-awareness of people around them or of situations involving them. In the course of this book, you're going to see their characters, although highly educated, are really ignorant. They have very little self-knowledge and absolutely little self-knowledge when it comes to other people around them. They seem to live in their own little bubble, completely unaware of those around them. Another thing that is a theme that we're going to be looking at is that of judgment. In the course of this book, the narrator, that's Nick Carraway. Nick Carraway makes a lot of missteps, has a lot of missteps, I should say, because of his judgment or lack of judgment against people. Nick misinterprets the advice his father gives him. It's one of the first lines of the book. His father tells him not to judge people because they've never walked in his shoes. He's never walked in their shoes. That's solid advice for the most part. However, there does come a time in life when you really do need to make judgments and judge people, especially if they're doing things that are not legal. And that's something that we're going to be looking at in the course of the book as well. Also, we have the theme of disillusionment. Disillusionment is really when you are saddened or surprised at the reality of a situation. You just did not expect it to be the way it truly is. And in the course of this book, Gatsby, as I've mentioned with success and with hope, Gatsby's whole goal is to reunite with Daisy. That's all he's thought about for the last 5 years of his life. However, he becomes very disillusioned in this idea of getting back together with Daisy because she has moved on. She has gotten married, she has a child, and no amount of money is going to allow him to erase that. So he becomes disillusioned over his dream of reuniting with Daisy. And the last thing that we're going to be looking at is that of morals. In the course of this book, when it comes to morals, there seems to be an association that people with a lot of money have stronger morals. That's the common conception of everyday society. In this book, that's actually not the case. You're going to be looking at the morals of people who have all the money in the world. I mean, we're talking about billionaires, not millionaires, in the course of this book. But they don't seem to have a moral compass. And society just gives them the benefit of the doubt, thinking that they do. And those who are of the lower class middle class specifically, they are viewed in a more negative, less moralistic way.